Hi, my name's Lisa, and I'm going to give you a brief tutorial on if you ever wondered how to build a hot dog cart that you could go out and work on. This is just one of those kooky things I did one winter day. I was just sitting there bored out of my mind, and I thought, I'm going to build a hot dog cart. And that's exactly what I did. It took me about 3 months to do it. And the pictorial that you'll see is a step-by-step guide. The parts you need, I will list beneath this in the description, and all the steps that you'll need to do the build. And it's actually quite a lengthy process, but it's kind of fun. And it's probably a lot better made than one that you would buy off of like Willy Carts, or there are several websites where you can buy the pre-made prefab ones. But the one that I built had a 3-sink bowl. It had on-demand hot and cold water. Of course, a huge big steam table. We had 2 of the griddles, and by Blackstone, and we made a lot of money on that cart. And for something that took about 3 months to build and maybe at a cost of about $5,000, we made a fortune on it. It paid for our vacations probably for 2 years. We just, I would work on it on weekends, and if I had a day off during the week, I'd set up by our local municipal building where we used to live, and we'd get a lot of really busy road traffic. So I hope that if you're teetering on the edge of building one, just pull the trigger and do it. I'm going to give you all the steps that you need, and hopefully it'll take away a lot of the frustration of going back and forth to Home Depot and trying to get parts, and you're not sure what parts you need. I'll pretty much lay it out what you need to do. If a 40-something-year-old girl can build one in her garage during the winter months, then anybody can do it. The only help I had was my neighbor, Jeff, helped me do a little bit of measuring. It's just not one of my strong points, but it ended up a great finished product, and I was very proud of it. And by the time we were done using it after several years, we ended up selling it to a lady out of New York who I hope is still using it. We built it in 2016 and sold it in 2018 for basically what I had in it, and that's it. So enjoy the pictorial, and I'll try to give some little voiceovers on the images so that it will give you a better idea of how the process started. All the parts can be sourced from Home Depot and Harbor Freight. I purchased the frame from Harbor Freight, like a trailer frame, and at least in Pennsylvania, you had to have your trailer inspected before I could actually build on top of it. So it was just a frame, and I don't know about other states, but in the state of Pennsylvania, you had to have a piece of plywood mounted to the frame, which was odd. So I did that and took it back to where it was to be inspected, and I also had to have it weighed. There's like a stone quarry that you can weigh your vehicle when you're buying stones, I guess, for commercial reasons. That's where I took it to have it weighed. And that's it. So anyway, enjoy the pictorial, and if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. And this is just one of those crazy things that I've done over the past 10 years. I like to build things and make things out of nothing, and it's just kind of a hobby. I've done all kinds of things, furniture, and I did build like a whole casita, which is like a storage shed turned into an apartment. And I'll do that in a later video, and that was a fun process. Hard work, because I live in Florida now, and it was right in the middle of summer. But anyway, sorry, I digress. Enjoy the video, and if you have any questions, again, please leave them down in the comments, and please like, subscribe, and thank you very much for watching. Thanks. Bye. So we're going to start out with the frame. So this frame was purchased at Harbor Freight. It comes in a box. It all has to be completely put together by hand. And but it's a sturdy little box, and I'll leave a link to the description in the description for you to purchase it at Harbor Freight. Okay, and I'll just give you a couple views circumferentially around the cart. Pretty easy to do. Helps to have two hands, but I think the cost was around $199. It may be a little more because that was back in 2016, but you do have to wire it yourself for the tail lights, but pretty simple. Okay, and so we added the floorboard, which was just subflooring that we coated with like a tarry protectant, so that it wouldn't rot if it got wet, because you never knew what kind of weather you were going to be out in. So that was that, and yep, there you go. And so now we start with the framing. Super easy to do. Your measurements are basically the width and length of the cart, and so that was pretty simple. But you want to make sure that your cuts are all even, because you don't want this to be off, considering this is basically the framework of your little house, so to speak. So make sure that all of your cuts are the same length. Okay. Next, we just used some typical plywood, and you can see the handles on the right-hand side of the cart in the back. Those are your handles that you'll use to push the cart with. Of course, the area that's cut out is for your steam table. Now, you want to make sure that you use your steam table pans as templates to cut out this hole, because it needs to seat down in with the lip of the steam table pans need to be overlapping that hole just a little bit, so it seats down in there nicely. If you mess this up, you'll have to do it again. So measure twice, cut once. Here we have your water, your potable water. You have two up on top for your steam table, and in the bottom there, in the bottom right hand corner, you'll see that is your water for your washing your dishes, hot and cold water, and that's connected into your water pump, which I'll show you here in a few minutes. And we rethunk the cooler. We used a marine grade cooler there, but unfortunately the steam table, which sat right in front of it, caused some melting of that cooler, so we didn't end up using that. Okay, so you can see you're going to need to cut some holes in your steam table for venting. In fact, I wish I had cut another one here because the steam table is going to get really hot, and you want to make sure that you don't risk it catching on fire. So on the bottom there is just a tiny cooktop that we used for heating up the steam table. It had 2 burners on it, and you will have hot spots in the bottom of your steam table, but it heats up like incredibly fast. So my apologies there, my phone timed out. So here we have just kind of a pass through so you can see how things are set up under the bottom. I was just trying to measure my steam pans for the top to make sure that they would fit there. Here we have looking down into the steam pans to make sure everything was fitting okay. And this is just at Home Depot picking up the plumbing. Okay, here's a forward on view of the plumbing. I did all that plumbing myself. Those sink bowls are will have drains, at least mine did. I bought them on I think Amazon, and they have drains that you just connect your plumbing into, and that was probably the hardest part of the whole build, was doing the plumbing. But I never had a leak, and that there again is your extra water. And here we have the water pump over there on the left hand side. Of course, we just have a regular AGM battery that powers the lighting on the cart as well as the water pump, and I believe we needed that for the hot water instant hot water tank that we had on board. There we are, putting up the sides. Now make sure you have you vent all of your plyboard on the sides, because again this thing gets super hot and you don't want to risk any fires happening. And I built a little door. I don't know if you can quite see that, but there's a hinge there on the front of the hot dog cart, and that was for storage, so we could store underneath the sink. And on the back here, you can see your on-demand propane hot water heater. That thing worked great. Never had any issues. And I mounted it in a way that you could remove it every time you would go down the road. I just removed it and put it in the back of my van. And also put a little cubby door on the back of it so you could have some storage there with just a little latch lock. There is a back view of the water pump. Okay, here we are. We've started painting the cart. You can see it's really starting to take shape. I look back on it now and it just makes me laugh. You can see we put, those are just normal vents that you can buy, for a couple bucks over at Home Depot on the front. Just make sure you're venting your cart. I can't stress it enough. And then I just got aluminum flashing that I put on the top. I'd probably rethink doing that again, as when you're cutting this stuff, it's like super sharp, and those edges would catch on things. And I would just, if I were you, I'd just caulk and paint the top. Just wanted everything, I would say that the majority of the money spent on this cart was using the aluminum angle that you can see went around the whole perimeter of the cart, and really, really overbuilt the thing. Didn't know any better, but the thing was a tank. And when I went to get this inspected by the health department, one of the things that they got me on, the only thing they got me on, was there was just a lot of seams on the top of the cart where I had the aluminum flashing that needed caulked better than I had it. But nonetheless, I got it done. It's really starting to take shape now, as you can see. There we have the on-demand hot water tank. I moved it up. I had some potato chip clips that I put on the top of it. And there is our health department permit, which was a glorious day for me. And there we mounted a menu board up there. And in the back is where I stored all of the hot dog buns, that little cubby, that big cubby in the back behind the sink. Okay. There we had a nice little speed rail that I put all of the condiments in. And I'm sure, there's lots of people that could build this a lot better than I did. I'd never done anything like this before, and but it worked. And I can tell you that our cart was always clean, and compared to what I saw, during food events at where there were other vendors, ours was just, there's my neighbor Jeff helping me do some angle iron work, aluminum angle. What a great neighbor he is. And so there we have the folding steam top table. That thing was a pain in the ass. I gotta be honest. If you can just get like a single one that you pick up and off, those bifold steam table lids they're a pain. I wouldn't recommend buying one. And there we have our lit up signage there. Yeah, you can really see it's taking shape, starting to look like a cart. And there's our Blackstone on top. We actually had 2 Blackstones griddles. I mean, it really came out nice. I'm just really proud, and you can have your orders there on the left-hand side. Yep, and there we go. There it is, the finished product. Didn't it turn out nice? I'm real happy with it. So, yeah, it was a definitely an adventure. There we go. And there's our first event. And in fact, it's funny. I became very friendly with the Harbor Freight staff because I was there all the time, and ended up doing our first event in their parking lot, which is pretty cool. And as far as where you buy your food, we bought a lot of it at Sam's. They have pretty much everything you need to be a vendor. And then this is up on the side of the road, up by my home. by our municipal building, who in fact actually gave us a kind of a hard time getting started with getting the permits for the municipality and the township. The county was fine, but working with our local government was a little bit of a pain in the butt. But they came through. And this is just one of the customers. You can see all the hot dog buns in the back there. And I'll tell you what, guys, these are real, they're money machines. You can generate a lot of money. And yep. And then we did a lot of river fests and events. Just a good time. And we had a local farmers market that would ask us to come to all the time. We had all kinds of things on our cart: hot dogs, kibasi, burgers, pierogies, just a lot of stuff. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little video walkthrough. It's kind of like walking back through the build again, because I haven't really looked at these photos for quite a while, but I hope it helps somebody get an idea of what it takes to build it. And my apologies, this is not like, I'm not a professional videographer by any stretch, and but I'm hoping that this will help somebody like it did. I wish something like this had been around when I was doing it. It would have helped me alleviate a lot of mistakes that I made. But it was a great learning process. So I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and I'll be happy to get to them. And good luck with your build. Thanks. Bye.